Came just as soon as I got the wire. Saying you'd be released today, so I'm late.
I'm just wondering why you bothered.
Well, Meg came to see me last year. Made me a promise I'd bring you home in one piece.
You think you can do that, Ben?
I figured you'd be ready to go home.
Dan. I owed you that. You promised me a fair trial. I didn't get it.
Now I owe you one. You ready to go now?
I'm ready to start, Ben.
Jamie, this is Mr. Dundee.
Hello, sir. How are you, Jamie?
Don, let me put your horse up.
Expecting a dry season, man?
I can never tell. We'll be ready for it if it comes.
I mean, so I can lay in those rocks just fast as they can.
Oh, listen to him.
You are, huh? All right, son, let's see how fast you are. Come on.
Did you see that? Yeah, I saw it. Just stand there, get back to work.
Where's the new man? With Jamie after some trout for our breakfast.
Sure, it's taking a shine to him, hasn't he? How long does he stand?
I thought I'd give him a few days. Get a little confidence back.
I don't think he's suffering from the lack of that. Still gonna deliver him?
Made a promise.
I think one of us ought to go with him. So if we get home and decide to get even with folks, you're gonna be right in the middle.
He hasn't said anything to indicate he's looking for trouble.
That's the point. He hasn't said anything. I think he's already decided what he's gonna do, and I don't think it's friendly.
Is that why you're riding such tight herd on me? I'll tell you what, Ben. Why don't you just advance me enough money to get my wife a nice little coming home present? And I'll be on my way.
Why should I do that?
Well, that'd save you a nice long trip, wouldn't it?
I promised your wife I was going to deliver you, and I'm going to keep that promise.
What about the loan?
No loan. But I'll give you a chance to earn what you need.
People who call me a hardhead just don't know him, do they?
That rock slipped right out of my hands, Joe.
Yeah, onto my foot.
Mm-hmm. You think it's busted?
No, just bruised a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry, old buddy.
Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. It's Dundee's. We're lucky we don't have broken backs.
He's still at it. Going like a steam engine.
Somebody tell him it's not a race. We're not trying to prove anything.
I don't know. Maybe he is.
You got $18 coming to you.
That's about twice a regular week's pay, isn't it? Don't do me any favors, Ben.
A man does the work of two men, he gets double wages.
All right, that kind of talk makes sense. You're tagging along the rest of the way. That doesn't make sense, though.
Nobody asked you.
I suppose it wouldn't do any good to ask you for the loan of a gun either way.
That's right, wouldn't do any good.
You take care, all right?
Yes, sir, Mr. Dundee. Hope I see you again one of these days.
What is this?
Well, let's finish up as soon as you can.
We'll see you next week.
You're not back by then. We're going to come looking for you.
Take care, Pa.
That's what it's like being on the outside.
What did happen that night?
Just exactly what I said at the trial. And I'd never seen before picked a fight with me.
You killed him.
Worst anybody can say is it was a fair fight.
Well, the judge didn't think so. Neither did the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff was a friend of his. Whose friend are you, Ben?
I've known Meg since she was knee-high to a grasshopper. Her father and I were friends years before that.
Guess that answers my question.
Yeah.
Stinking years.
Meg, too. Don't forget that. And I figure a woman waits for a man who's in prison for 5 years and sends someone to get him back home, making sure that his wild temper doesn't get him into trouble again. Figure that woman has done her bit, too.
Now it's my time.
Isn't it?
We only had 3 months together. Did you know that, Ben?
Yeah, I knew that.
I wonder how she's gonna take to me now. I've changed. I wonder if she's changed.
Hey, you know, we got a long, hard ride ahead of us. It'd be a real favor if you'd just shut up and let us both get a little shut-eye. We can ride around the town. We don't have to ride through it.
No, I got some business here. Watch it.
What kind of business?
I gotta buy a present for my wife, remember? You see many friendly faces, Ben? Welcome home, John Dundee.
Hello, Mr. Sangster. Mr. Dundee.
Yeah, I thought I'd buy Meg a little present, Mr. Sangster.
Why, sure. Sure, Mr. Dundee, sure. Here. Here's some very nice things. Yes, sir, they are. These combs now, they're imported.
What about that shawl over there, Mr. Sangster?
Well, why... Oh, that's a real beauty. Art Thatcher's wife's been wanting that for a long time.
Art Thatcher's wife wants it. How much is it?
Well, seeing as it's imported, and I guess maybe $4.
All right, I'll take it. Mr. Sangster. One of those. And one of those. Mr. Sangster?
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure doing business with you again.
Thank you.
All set?
Now, one more stop.
You got your present.
No, but I want a bath, Ben, with plenty of hot water and soap. Going home in style.
He looked right through us. Well, what'd you expect him to do? Get off his horse and kiss you?
Not here. Meg!
I just didn't expect you for another day or two. I mean, there was no way of knowing just when you'd get here.
Meg, thank you.
What am I doing?
You always had beautiful hands, Meg.
Tried to keep busy. I guess working around the place doesn't keep my hands ladylike.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah. Fixing plows and rebuilding barns kind of makes for calluses and blisters, then.
Tried to keep busy.
I think I'll just have another look around the place.
Ben, you've been with him for a while now. Has he changed?
He's still angry inside, if that's what you mean. Meg, when you came and asked me to bring him here, why didn't you tell me you were doing all the work?
Before John went away, he made certain arrangements, and they just never worked out, that's all.
What kind of arrangements?
With his business partners in town.
Bartlett and Fancher, fellas that were at the trial.
They said that they'd look after the ranch and try to keep things up until he got back. And
This is all he needs. Meg, why didn't you come to me? Meg, you know, you two need time alone together to get reacquainted.
Ben, you're not leaving.
Well, of course I am. I brought him here just as you asked me to.
Please, Ben, don't go.
Meg, what's the matter?
I don't want to be alone with him.
He's your husband.
I'm afraid of him.
Welcome home, John Dundee.
What do you mean?
Well, of course I'll stay stay on for a few days. If you want me to. Let me go. Go out and see if I can give my hand.
Did you see your hands, Ben?
Yeah, I saw him.
You know, folks around here weren't too happy when Meg chose me for her husband because they figured that my bad temper had always got me into trouble and always would get me into trouble. I figured she was just buying her share.
So you went out, proved him right.
Look, Ben, you've been her friend for a long time. I figure that gives you a right to say that. But I cut this farm right out of the raw dirt, and I did it for her.
Yeah, I know. Meg told me about your friends and the promise they made.
We'll see she suffers no want. That's what they said.
What kind of business were you in?
Oh, we pooled our money. We bought our horses, and then when the price was up, we sold them to the army.
You have papers and all that sort of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, we had partnership agreements and contracts when we sold the stock. Ben, her hands were as white as snow when I married her. There wasn't a mark on them. Not when I left here. We'll see she suffers no want. That's what they said. That's what they said.
That's not the answer, you know.
This isn't your affair anymore. You've done your good deed. Now we're quits.
Not quite. Meg asked me to stay.
What for?
She wants me to.
I'm telling you to stay out of it.
I know how you're feeling. Maybe I feel a bit that way myself. That gun's brand new. You've had revenge in mind long before you ever saw Meg's hands. I owe you one, remember? I saw that storekeeper walking on eggs I thought was respect. He was just plain scared.
I'll have the gun.
You're on parole. You walk off this range with a gun, those fellas in town will shoot you full of holes or put you in prison and throw away the key.
What I got in mind just might be worth it. Now, give me the gun.
What about Meg?
Yes, John, what about me? Do I have anything to say about what's left of my life, or do you claim that privilege, too?
What's your present?
Where'd you get it, John?
We're in town. I just bought it.
I was thoughtful of you.
I wanted you to have something.
Thank you.
You gonna open? You like it? Meg, you like it?
It's beautiful. You think this is the way it's going to be? You walk back into my life and into my bedroom after 5 years, and you hand me a present, and that's all there is to it.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about 5 years of waiting and working and doing without things. 5 years of sleeping alone and crying in the night.
What do you think I was doing, Meg?
Paying for something you did, John.
Meg, you're my wife. You married me. That makes you my wife.
All right, I am your wife, and I waited for you, and I worked for you all these years, and now you're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to prove that you're able to be a good husband.
Hold on. Are you telling me I haven't got any rights in my own bedroom?
Why, not till you earn them.
Just how am I supposed to do that?
By courting me all over again. By just like you did before we were married.
Well, where am I supposed to sleep in the meantime?
Anywhere but in here.
If you want anything, ma'am, I'll be out in the barn with the rest of the animals.
Works like that, there's something eating him inside. I've seen it before.
Meg, do you really think I should stay on? I mean, it should be between just the two of you.
If you leave Ben, so do I.
All right. As soon as I telegraph the boys, I'll be staying on for a couple of more days. I'll be back.
Thank you.
Telegrapher? Anyone in town? Well, I'd like you to send this message for me, please.
Virginia City, huh?
Yep. Ben Parker.
And I seen you before.
Maybe?
Yeah. You rode in with John Dundee yesterday.
That's right. How much will that be?
50 cents.
Yeah, thank you. Didn't Dundee have any friends in this town?
You ever try to cozy up to a grizzly bear, Mr. Cartwright?
fellow John Dundee.
Yeah.
You know him pretty well, do you?
About 5 years. I was at the trial.
Well, then you know he's got a temper like a scalded bobcat. He proved that in that fist fight.
Yeah, fight which he didn't start.
Well, the jury thought otherwise, but that's all gone and forgotten.
Yeah.
I was hoping that he'd come back a changed man, but doesn't look like it. He wasn't in town an hour before he bought himself a gun.
No law against him having a gun?
Well, I thank you for explaining the law to me. But something maybe you don't know is the conditions of his parole forbid him from wearing or carrying a gun any place except on his own property.
Oh, I think he was told all that.
Well, I want you to tell him something from me. If he gets in any trouble at all, he's going to go back to prison, and that is a fact.
I'll tell him that. Excuse me. By the way, Sheriff, is there any law which forbids an ex-convict from defending himself?
No. It better be ironclad that it was self-defense, you understand me?
Oh, yes, you made it perfectly clear.
Well, I want to make something else perfectly clear. I'm the law around here, and I'll decide what's self-defense and what isn't.
Well, that's very clear as far as the first decision is concerned. Of course, Sheriff, you know that you can be overruled by higher authority, such as the U.S. Marshal, the Attorney General, or the Governor. You might think about that.
So they're just waiting for him to make one wrong move.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, what are we going to do?
Yeah. Meg. Did John have any problems with his partners before the trouble?
First, it was all right, until he got suspicious of them. Started accusing them of juggling the accounts, of taking more than their share of the
But how
profits.
long before the fight was this?
Not long.
Has John ever been known to avoid a fight, ever in his life?
You know the answer to that, Ben. What are you getting at?
Well, suppose his suspicions were right. I mean, suppose he had enough information about those partners of his to make a lot of trouble for them, put them behind bars. Now, if you were them, what would you do with a man who had a quick temper?
You mean he was set up?
Well, according to John's own testimony, a man whom he'd never known, never seen in his life before, picked a fight with him. Why?
Kill him?
Fancher wouldn't care who got killed. Worked out fine for them either way, didn't it? I guess. That nice, fine office in town. Now they own military contracts. Everybody's making money.
John, let's move away somewhere. Start over again somewhere else, please.
Man and wife.
Yes. Man and wife.
That's a very Tempting offer, Maggie, if I was the kind of man who bought his wife's favors.
I didn't mean it like that.
John, what are you gonna do?
I don't know, Ben. I don't know. I think maybe first I just better figure out what kind of a man this woman wants for her husband.
Ben? Ben? Have you seen John?
He said he had some work to do over at the well.
He's not there, and his horse is gone, too.
Don't worry, I'll find him.
It's Dundee. He's not wearing a gun. I'll handle him. Get some of the boys and stand by. Right.
Hello, Art. Nice fancy layout you got here.
We were wondering when you're going to get around to dropping by.
Seems like you prospered some, huh?
We've worked hard.
So's my wife. You remember my wife, don't you, Art?
Meg? Sure.
Well, I'm your partner, Art. You forgot to send her my share of the profits.
Profits. There weren't any for a while. Things were tight right after you went away. That partnership was a limited agreement. Had to be renewed every 90 days. You weren't here, you didn't sign, so you weren't a partner anymore. I got all the papers in the file. I can show you.
Sure, all legal and proper, huh?
You can bet it's legal. Get a lawyer and we'll prove it.
No, there wouldn't be any need for that. Look, Art, I did some figuring. I figured it all out. I figured about $1,000 for each year would be fair. Not for me, for her.
Not a dime. Not ever.
$5,000 tomorrow. Or you and Bartlett are going to be looking over your shoulders every day and every night because I'm coming to collect.
Maybe you'd better look out in the street.
Art, it'll take a dozen like him, and even that wouldn't keep me away from you. Now, I think it'd be better all the way around if you just sort of paid it out.
You're not getting a penny out of this.
$5,000 tomorrow, Art. Tell your partner.
There, mister. Everybody having a good time? Enjoying yourselves?
I never raised a hand in anger, Ben.
Well, Sheriff.
back. He promised me that.
Not if we move first, he won't.
What do you want? My husband is...
In the barn. Been there for an hour. Cartwright rode out early. Bedroll and canteen in his saddle. Going home. That did it. Here he comes.
Just the way we figured as soon as you were rode out.
Where is he? He's supposed to still tied to the hitch rail.
Well, he won't be needing it.
John, where is he?
He's right there. I don't make the same mistake twice, Ben. Let's talk to him before his friends get here, hmm?
Yeah.
What do you three want?
You. I got a warrant for your arrest for the murder of Jim Anders.
Anders? How did you know he was out here, Sheriff?
That don't matter. We got his body and his horse, and we got you before you could get rid of him. Now put your hands up.
You afraid of an unarmed man, Sheriff? Maybe you better take a look first. Move.
This the murdered man you're looking for?
You sent him out here to be killed, didn't you, Sheriff? Then came out here to arrest Dundee for his murder.
What are you talking about?
Well, the judge and the governor call it complicity in attempted murder. They'll also want to look into the fight that sent Dundee to prison after they hear what Anders had to say about it.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Look out! Head for the barn. Come on, let's go.
I knew they were coming. I should have gotten you out of here.
No. can't be anywhere else.
Go keep your eye on that house.
Yeah. I think them fellas are really trying to kill us out there.
I get the distinct feeling that you're right.
Well, it makes it come down to self-defense, Pat.
I think we ought to smoke a lot, don't you?
I was just waiting for you to say that.
I'll cover you.
John!
You let him get away. You get out of this, you're gonna be sorry you said that.
Another one down here.
Where?
Over by the corral, but I don't see him.
Hold it. Get up. Move. Come.
All right, gentlemen. We'll ride into town and see the U.S. Marshal. Higher authority, Sheriff, in case you've forgotten. Move.